Hey, good morning. This is Steven Ruiz. I am still the Director of User Experience Design for Dogtown Media. I am a UX designer. I think about tech a lot. I think about design a lot. And in case you're wondering, yes, I'm in my car, but yes, I am hands-free. So not only is this legal, this is good design. So, but I digress. So, I think this is episode 2 of Experience Mornings, and we talked a little bit about diversity in the first episode of the video series. And as it stands right now, when I again, just to kind of recap the thought on diversity, I wanted to be clear about something too. I'm talking about diversity with a capital D. Diversity means not just people of color, LGBTQ, people that are over the age of 50 that are in the tech industry. This means people, even women, who are considerably underrepresented in the tech world, in the tech community. Here in Southern California, there has not been as much dialogue about diversity as there has in Silicon Valley. In fact, I would venture to say that there has been little to no talk about diversity in the tech industry here in Southern California, or Silicon Beach, as it's marketed now. And I think that's unfortunate. So, I don't want to continue on too much on the topic, but I do want to say that there does need to be more of a voice about diversity with a capital D within the tech industry here, and not just to talk about the differentiation of the types of people that are working in the tech industry arbitrarily, not just saying hire people of color, hire LGBTQ, hire people just because they have certain attributes, but to really understand what the pipeline situation is. Why is it that certain people are so underrepresented in the community? So I want to I'll put a period on this for now. I have some posts and some announcements to make within the next week about the next Silicon Beach diversity meetup, so you can find out more about that then. Today I want to talk about the context of where people use apps. Right. So right now I am on my way to work. I am literally, driving down a hill, and if you can see here, and I don't know how good the view is, but I'm at a light. There's a beach. There's water. There are all these things that are kind of coming at me at the whole time. And at the end of the day, most of the mobile apps now Dogtown Media, where I work as the director of UX and digital strategy. We do nothing but make mobile apps, and we've got apps for medical devices. We've got apps for drones. We're building apps for, how you engage more visually with retail experiences and with food experiences. And the one common denominator that keeps coming around to me is the mobile apps. So at the end of the day, whether it's ways where you're using directions and you're the passenger in the vehicle, or it's some app that you're using to find a restaurant in a neighborhood that you've never been to, it really kind of boils down to the fact that you're in motion at all times. Now, as a designer, and speaking from the perspective of a designer, I can say that it's not always necessarily the first thing that comes to mind when you are starting to sit down. You're in a stationary place, you're at your workstation, and I think the context of how and why people use apps is really, really important, and the thinking about the context of how people use apps. Human beings are creatures of biological needs, of anxiety, of and not to be too cliche, but hopes and fears and blah, 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 right? So we're constantly in motion. We're constantly moving through a continual cycle of experiences while we're trying to engage with certain applications. Now, when you're talking about building these applications, and you're talking about contextual relationship, or we'll even call it the human computer interaction variables, or HCI, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's a very deep field that speaks to some of these issues. HCI, or human computer interaction models, really come from like ergonomics and contextual relationships, spatial relationships between what you're doing in that moment and how it impacts your experience with the machine, right? So if you're unhappy, you're most likely to have a more unhappy experience. So I guess the point of all this is to say, again, this is really thinking about the end user as a catalyst for your design rather than an obstacle. And I know that, having been on the user experience side and talked about UX and talked about all of these different elements that come into play, it's a really important factor. So that's kind of my spiel for the day. Again, look back on StephenRuiz.com. I'm going to be engaging a little bit more about the diversity topic. We might dive in a little bit more about the contextual relationship, but I think there might be a podcast in the very near future. So again, this is Stephen Ruiz, Director of User Experience at Dogtown Media. Go design great things. Have a great day. Design great things, and remember those you're designing for. Have a great day.